Members of the company, this is your places call. Places, please. Places for the top of the podcast. Places, please.
Get ready for a behind-the-scenes look at the glitz and not-so-glam of Broadway, education, and everyday life with Uncommon Sense. Join hosts Christopher Smith and Sharna Lopez as they bring you the best stories and shenanigans that seemingly prove how elusive common sense can really be. So take a little time for yourself to hang out with the dynamic duo Charnopher, and no leaving early, because you might just miss that 11 o'clock number.
Stand by music. Music, go.
Uncommon sense, the 11 o'clock number. And we are Charnopher.
Hey, Sharna, how are you today?
I am good. Well, I'm a little under the weather, honestly. If I sounded like I'm underwater, I'm just getting over a cold, but I feel good. I just still sound a little
wonky. We lean into that. I think we lean into the sexy.
Well, I already have that kind of like tenor bar girl voice, you know?
Right. So now we're like baritone.
Now we're down here.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
We'll do all the voiceovers for the podcast today.
Right. I mean, and it doesn't, I don't feel bad. So it's
That's
just
the important thing.
It's the voice. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Today is not like last time.
I know. Last time was
special.
Was special, but like kind of great because it made for a story, which is good.
Always a good thing.
And it ended up being awesome. We just had to, jump through a few hoops. Today we're feeling better about it.
Awesome. Yes, Lego movie.
Oh yeah, 100%. I got an 11-year-old son.
That's right.
We Lego movie. We did Halloween Lego movie costumes for I think he was probably 3rd or 4th birthday.
That is
homemade.
Fantastic. I love that so much. Well, Sharna, what do you want to talk about today? What should we talk about?
I don't know. I feel like we have a million things, but
we always do.
I'm game for whatever. You tell me and I'm jumping in.
Oh, so let's talk about names.
Ooh.
like
Sharna.
And Sharna, yeah, because that's not the most common name, unlike Christopher, which is probably the second most, if not first most common name in all. But
also, it's not Chris. Let's just get that one straight.
Let's get that straight. But also, then people shorten it to Chris. And my favorite is when, and by favorite I mean not favorite, is when
sarcasm.
It's sarcasm, people. Is when I just literally just introduce myself to somebody and I'm like, hi, I'm Christopher. And within 30 seconds, they're like, nice to meet you, Chris. And I'm like, whoa. In my brain, I'm going, rewind. Do you have short-term memory loss? Pretty sure I just said Christopher, but thank you so much.
You know what's my favorite that I've seen people do so many times, and I may have been a culprit of it as well when I first met you, is when I clearly know your name's Christopher, and I always knew it was Christopher.
Yeah.
But
a lot of people shorten it.
Automatically shorten it, but my favorite is when they shorten it. So like, for example, it'll be like, we're doing something, it'll be like, oh, hey, Chris, Topher. Like, they add it. Our friend Katy Perry does that.
Yes.
Katy Perry Page.
That's right.
She does that a lot with you, and it makes me laugh because their brain has shortened it to Chris, and then they know, like, wait, that's my friend Christopher, so I have to add it onto the end.
Yes.
Topher.
Well, and that reminds me, because when I was down in La Jolla as the choir director, when the choir still existed down there, Joy would get so mad at people for me, like they would shorten it, and she started literally doing that. So people would say, hey, Chris, and she would just be Topher.
Now, I have a former student that because he's worked with us, Topher. And is the other way around with him. So I met him as Topher.
Oh.
And then I would hear his family or parents call him Chris or even Christopher. And I'm like,
what's
your
happening?
name's Topher. Like, it was the opposite.
Yes.
Opposite side of it. Oh yeah. But my
That's
name,
fun.
I mean, my name from day one. Quick background on my name. It's Cherokee Indian. So my mom's side of her family is Cherokee Indian, and her dad's name is Charna Lee, and that's who I was named after. So it means blue skies in Cherokee.
That so fits for you. You
isn't that
are
fun?
blue skies.
Yeah.
When
it's
I'm
a
with
boy's
you,
name.
I feel like when I'm with you, I feel like we always have blue skies, even when it's raining.
This is true. This is why we get along, though, because I think we can be in a situation where we want to pull our hair out and punch all the people. And then we're like, you know what? We're just going to move on through it. Blue skies.
Blue skies.
So Charna Lee comes from my grandfather, and it is Cherokee, and it means blue skies. But it seems to be one of the most difficult names for people to pronounce, remember. And it's the same thing. When someone meets me and they say Charna, obviously it's a CH. And I'm like, it's actually pronounced Charna. There are so many words: champagne, Chardonnay, chandelier, Charmin, toilet paper. What do you need? Come on, people. We've got words that start with CH.
Can we talk about that list for a minute?
Champagne and Chardonnay started off for sure.
Champagne and Chardonnay and chandelier. I am like glitz and glam. And then we go directly to Charmin, straight into the toilet.
I mean, could you think of one in the middle? Oh, chartreuse.
Ooh, I like
charcuterie.
That and
that's the order. It should go champagne, Chardonnay, charcuterie, chandelier.
Yes.
I'm throwing that one in there. But
or
my thing is
chandelier. I don't know.
Like
top down.
Once you've said it, like same with you. Once I've said my name is Christopher, please call me Christopher. Like it's not that tricky once you know that the CH is a soft CH. But I have been called, I don't know, Chandra, Sharina, Sharona, Chandri, Squagila.
Okay.
That's my favorite story.
Okay, well, I'm pretty sure it's time for that story because you can't just drop that and be like, oh, let me just put that in the list of names.
So I just told Christopher before we started today that this is one of my favorite stories to tell my students, and they just think it's a riot. But I'm going to do the Cliff's Notes version because I like to be dramatic, but I'm going to keep it short for our podcast today. When I was in high school, I worked at a box office for a theater. And, this is in 1902 because we are 3010.
That's right. We are.
And so it was like a phone center, and people would call in and they'd want to reserve their tickets for the season. And, you had your little headset, and it would be like, it was the Welk Resort Theater. So I'd say, Welk Resort Theater, this is Sharna. How can I help you? And I loved it. It was a super fun job. And I worked with my girlfriend at the time, and her name was Athena, which is even funnier.
Oh.
And she was next to me. And I get this lady, and I'm like, Welk Resort Theater, this is Sharna. How can I help you? And she says, yes, Squagila, I would like to reserve. And you know how like in old phones, you could like mute it real quick.
Yes.
I had to mute my thing, and she's on there talking, I'd like to give you my Amex card. And I am crying, laughing so hard. And then I'm like, I'm going with it. I'm just going to continue on in this moment as Squagila.
Oh, yeah.
Because Squagila, I mean... Squagila, Squags. So then my girlfriend and I, like, we shortened it to Squags. And I mean, I don't really keep in touch with her anymore, but to this day, if I saw her, she'd probably be like, Squags, Squags, Squagila. I mean, it's a thing, but I've been called many things, many things.
We're going to have to figure out how to spell that because that's going on some merch at some point for our podcast.
I feel like it's an SQUA situation. I'm going to work on that, and we'll figure it out. We'll nail it down.
I don't know. I like a W in there too. Because I have, I'm partial to the W. So certain that was my name. So certain. Not like, I'm sorry, what's your name again, honey? And then try and fail.
Yeah.
No.
And the other thing people do with my name, Christopher, is for years, there are two people, one whom I still work with, who still call me Charna. Like, I think there's just something about seeing that CH that they must not drink Chardonnay. That's all I got to say about that.
Or ever heard of a chandelier. Or maybe they just don't know how to spell because you don't know.
I think that's it.
They might think that Chardonnay starts with an SH or chandelier also starts with an SH.
They are not only on the struggle bus, they are driving the struggle bus.
They
if
are
that is
driving. Yes. Hey, everybody's got a story. Everybody's got a story.
And
But-
and you know, it's funny because my sister's names are relatively normal, but my maiden last name was a little difficult too. So, you know,
Well-
it's now that I'm Lopez, that's easy.
Yeah. I didn't have time with your maiden name, but I also took German for freaking 9,000 years, all through
So
high school and
Feldhaus.
college.
And later in one of our other podcasts, we're gonna have my sister on, and she still has the Feldhaus last name. So
It's
it's not, if you know German,
Yeah,
Feldhaus.
it's easy.
But I had all the
easy,
things:
easy.
Felthius, Felthus, Fleetus.
Fleetus. That's fun. That's an interesting one. Fleetus.
I mean, Christopher Smith. I'm sorry.
That's so lame.
It's not. It's such a strong name, but it's very easy.
Well, then
Except
put the
people still
W
say
in
Chris.
there. Christopher W.
W. Smith.
W. I can't make a W. I don't know
No, that's
what
too,
I'm doing.
like this.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
Yeah. Ooh, I have one more funny story about my name. So
Okay, go
my
for it.
middle name's Lee, Sharna
Mhm.
Lee. And my mom calls me, or doesn't anymore, but when I was little, called me Sharna Lily. Like Lily, Sharna Lily. And when I was in kindergarten, they asked us to go around and introduce ourselves. And I
Mhm.
said, "Hi, I'm Shauna Wee Wee," because I couldn't say my
Shauna Wee
L.
Wee.
My mom was like, "You should just stick with Sharna for now. Please do not call yourself Sharna Wee Wee."
Yeah. I think that's best.
That's
Oh,
past now. We're just
children.
Sharna.
Children.
I know.
Oh man. So I'm thinking, since we're talking about names, I'm gonna like go look up like the top terrible or weird or interesting names that people gave their children. Let's go see.
Like
what there
this
is.
year or just ever in their whole
Well,
life?
I don't know. Let's just go see what I can find. Okay, so here I have 100 worst baby names parents ever picked from,
no.
and that was written this year. Well, in October. So, and this is from familyminded.com. Let's see what's
Okay.
on here.
Oh no.
All right, number 1.
I'm not ready. And
I
you haven't
love
even
this
said it.
one. I love this one. Obsidae. Now, I know how that's pronounced. You would not necessarily look at this and know how that's pronounced. It is.
Obsidae.
It's ABCDE. It's just the first 5 letters of the alphabet. At least I think that's how it's pronounced. That's how I've been told it's pronounced.
Okay. Also, why? Is that is like a trend that
I
you're
don't
gonna
know.
do the first?
Like, but according to data,
they've named their baby that. People have named their baby that.
are you
Obsidae.
ready? Are you ready? From 2017, so it's been 5 years since then. 373 girls have been named that.
Obsidae.
Mm-mm.
Obsidy? Absidy.
Absolutely. I don't see exactly.
If
You
that
think
kid came up
Sharna's
on my
bad.
roster, I would be like, alphabet. Like, what? I guess you have the option though to be like Absidy, Obsidae.
Right.
Absidae.
It could be just whatever you want.
What if
Plus
you want the
it's
C to be like a K sound?
Abkadi.
Abacadec. Have you heard that? Have you heard that song? It's a Sesame Street song that Big Bird
No.
sings with all the letters.
No.
Absidae, definitely not pursue exist.
Oh.
It's like we're gonna have to
Oh.
play it.
We're going to play it.
It's all the alphabet together, and Big Bird tries to sing it. That's what
Oh,
it sounds like.
that.
Abcad-
Maybe
but he
we'll
says
listen-
Abkadeki.
Abkadeki. Well, you know what? Maybe that's how it happened. I don't know.
Okay, give me the next one.
The next one is along
Squagila.
the same
It's
lines.
Squagila.
It is. It is. How did you know? Alpha Beta.
No, come on. What is
Yep.
the
Yep.
alpha
So,
beta?
Yeah. So
Wait, is it like alpha beta? Do you remember the grocery store
maybe
alpha
it is-
beta?
Oh, it could be Alpha Beta. It's like Alpha
Do you remember that?
Beta. I don't know that grocery store.
So when I was younger, there was a grocery store called Alpha Beta, and like really young.
Was
and I
that
remember
just a
going
San
there.
Diego thing then?
Ooh, maybe Alpha Beta. But that's a weird name.
Yeah.
But
I can't
Alpha Beta.
actually, now that I think about it, that's kind of fun though. It's like AB. You're like it's like Alpha Beta. I don't know. That one doesn't
Yeah,
bother
it's like
me
the
as
Greek,
much.
the Greek.
Yeah,
alphabet.
it's their letters. Yeah.
Mhm.
Which is how we got the name Alphabet. If I
Correct.
remember right.
That is correct. That is correct.
That
is
is
correct. Name the show. Name the show.
25th annual Putnam Cali Spelling Bee.
Ring.
Ooh.
You win.
At the 25th annual.
Mm.
Okay.
What's
Okay.
next?
Oh, okay. Eureka. Now,
No.
it's spelled AIRWRECKA. So it's like air and then wreck, like you wrecked something.
So is it supposed to be a twist on Erica?
Correct.
Erica.
This, but like again,
Air wreck. No,
So
think of
now
that
I
poor
just feel like I'm
kid in
playing a word
kindergarten.
game. Now I just feel like I'm playing a word game.
It's like when you're driving behind somebody and you're trying to figure out their license plate.
Yes.
That is exactly what it is.
Correct.
Air wreck. But also that poor kid in kindergarten when they're
Yeah.
like, come on, mom, I could have had a 5-letter name.
Right.
And now you're making me write this long,
Talk about the phonetics you have to know that.
Erica. Oh man. No.
Y'all,
And that was
I'll screenshot these and put these on Instagram so you can see them. Okay.
Watch next year. We're gonna have a student named Erica.
Yeah. I mean, the funny thing is these are all in, so I guess these aren't in top 100 order because they're in alphabetical order.
Okay.
So I'll just do another one from the A and then we got to get to the B. You'll like the B one too.
Okay.
All right. Then we have arson.
Like fire?
Like fire. Like burn it to the ground.
People name their kid that?
Apparently. And it's like, why not just go with like Carson or Larson or
anything
other than the felony situation?
But is it spelled? Okay, so like I have a friend whose baby's name is Carson and it's Carson.
That is how it is spelled.
Okay, but arson, like to burn things, is Arsen, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Doesn't make it any better.
But when you say it out loud, it's the same thing. I don't know. I should look that up. Now I feel like it's not.
Well,
correct.
Why would you name your kid that? Why?
Okay, we're going to do the first B one and then we'll skip ahead and find some others. The reason we have to do the first B one is because it's Bacardi.
Someone has named their kid Bacardi?
Correct.
Like after the rum?
Like after the rum. And I thought you would appreciate that.
I mean, okay, I at first I wanted to be like, don't do that. But also, I don't know. It's kind of a fun word. It's kind of a fun word. But also,
kind of a fun word.
When your kid, it's like when they're young, right? And you're like, oh, Bacardi. Oh, okay. You're named after an alcohol.
Right.
Because there's nothing else to link that to. It's not like you're named Morgan and someone's like, oh, Captain Morgan. Like that's not the same.
No.
Bacardi is solely
like
an alcohol.
That's pretty much how we know it.
I think it also sounds more like a pet name. Like a cute little fluffy dog named Bacardi.
Oh yeah, that'd be cute.
You know?
I like that. And then let's just do like one or two more. Okay. So this one's great and technically feels very apropos to name a child, but when they get older, it's not the best. Chaos.
As a name?
As a name. Yep.
I feel like these are much more appropriate for animals.
Right.
Like name your little spicy animal Chaos, not a kid.
Yep.
What if you name your kid Chaos and they turn out to be the most like introverted, quiet, mellow child? Great. And then you have to name them like anti-chaos or something.
Okay. I don't even know what's happening on this one. I'm going to say, I don't know how to pronounce it because it's just ESPN. Espen?
Like someone's named their kid after the channel. ESPN.
Correct.
People are, dude, I know that my kids' names are not anything crazy and I'm all for like a unique name.
Yeah.
That's just weird.
Correct.
ESPN?
Mm-hmm.
How do you think they say it like that? Or they say
I think they probably say Espen or Espen or like E-span, like C-span. I don't know. Aspirin. Sometimes you need an aspirin.
Arson, ESPN.
Okay.
Bacardi.
So are you ready to have Arson's brother?
Yes. What is
Felony.
it? People are naming. Okay. So
now it has like, 2 L's. Felony with 2 L's. Let's not get it twisted.
I don't care. I feel like there needs to be a rule in life. Like, you know how when you get pregnant, you're like supposed to take your baby classes and your Lamaze class. There should be a how to name your child class.
There should be like they should give you a list of names not to name your child.
Felony?
Yep. And apparently, according to this, one kid named Felony already went on to become a real felon.
That's not real.
I don't know.
How do they know that?
I don't know.
Because they found the record or something?
They probably found the record. I'll have to look that up. I'll try to do a follow-up on that.
Wait, that's hilarious. It's not hilarious. Man. It's not hilarious. It's actually really sad.
It is sad, but also
that
just
poor
ridiculous.
Kid. Like, that's what I want to interview a kid whose name is some wackadoodle name. And you're just like, what? We have some a family in my conservatory at OSHA with some very interesting names. There's 4 of them.
Okay.
And I'll have to get like the full gist. I can't even. One of their middle names is Ladybird.
Oh.
And one of them is like, oh shoot, I can't remember. I'll have to ask, but that mom and dad went to town and finding like a little off the wall, but not felony.
Yeah.
But just like interesting.
So felony. There's our
No,
names. I don't like that. I'm not here
I
for
don't-
that.
I just don't. I get it when you like name somebody something after a rock star or a song you like, but like naming them after ESPN, the channel, or
I know.
arson and felony. Like, do they think they're being funny? I wonder if they think they're
Probably.
being clever.
Maybe.
And you're like, no, you're just stupid.
All right, parents out there, if anybody listening has named their child an interesting name, we'd love to hear what
Yeah,
that might
we'll support
be.
you, but not really.
Well, it depends. It depends how interesting. We'll support you in your
know-
choice to name your child, but also please don't name your child.
Yeah. And I've heard some interesting ones. There was one this weekend of a student that came through to apply Elodie. So like
Oh,
melody without the M.
Right.
And I kind of like that. Elodie.
okay.
I
It's
mean,
got a thing to it.
better than felony.
I had a friend in college that his name, well, I'll just tell you his last name. His last name was Bench. Okay.
Is his first name Park?
No, but he said if he has a daughter, he wants to name her Park or Parker.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll be
Park
Park
Bench.
Bench. And I'm like,
So get
"Oh,
this. My mom's maiden name is White,
okay.
and her mom wanted to name her Snow. And my dad, my grandpa
like,
was like,
no,
no, she's not going to be Snow White. No, that's just
no.
Snow. Also, even if your last name was Green, you don't want your name to be Snow.
Snow Green, because that would make sense. I like it. I like that choice.
I mean, Smith, Snow Smith.
Or like mountain,
Park Bench.
Snowy mountain.
I mean, okay, but if your name was Parker Bench,
Yeah.
I kind of think that's funny.
Yeah, but just not Park. Like
My
Marcy
husband
Park,
had a
speaking
guy,
of 25th annual spelling bee.
right?
Marcy Park.
My husband had a guy he used to work with that his name was Keel,
Okay.
and I think his last name was Fell. So like keel over, fell down.
Oh,
That's how this guy used.
my
Keel,
Lanta.
Keel, I think I'd have to double check. Keel, Fell. My mom had a friend growing up. Her name was Crystal Lear, and her middle name was Shanda. I think that's cool.
Oh, okay.
Crystal Chandelier.
Yes. I like that. That's
See,
pretty
like, those
cool.
kind of, because your name's Crystal Lear, like that's a normal name, and then you're like, but my middle name's Shanda.
Yes. Oh, but we need to talk about our friend who, when I first met her, I was like, that's not your real name. That's
Who?
not your real name. Crystal
yeah.
Dancer.
Yeah.
Crystal Dancer. I'm like, you made that
And
up.
And the cool thing is she's a dancer, right? So like if your
Yes.
name was Crystal Dancer, but you were like a scientist, you're like,
Right. It's like,
come on, universe.
but
But she was a
literally,
dancer, yeah.
dancer, choreographer.
What would be her married? Because I know she got married, but she didn't change her name.
Oh,
Do you
I
know
don't
what her
actually
married
have
name
any
would have been?
idea. I have no idea.
But Crystal Dancer's fun.
Yes.
We have another friend who will have to get on our podcast that has like 9 names. And when I met him when he was a kid, Parker,
Oh, yeah.
you know, he's William Frederick Parker Young the third or something crazy. But he has 2 other names before the name he actually goes by, William Frederick and then Parker. And in college, he had a professor call him Bill for the entire semester. And he didn't change it. I'm like, Parker, that's not your name. He's like, they don't care. Like, I'm in college.
Whatever.
I'm like, Bill?
Bill, my son, Bill.
Oh, man. Bill.
Yes. Right? That is the lyric, right? My
Yeah.
son, Bill. Da-da. Name that show?
Carousel?
There you go.
Yeah, look at us.
I know.
Dude, it's my favorite game to play.
Yeah, I know.
And I
I'm
feel like
sometimes really good
we're
at
pretty
it. And other times I'm like, I don't.
There was one we did. I think it was for Rent a while ago,
Oh, yeah.
and you couldn't get it, and I helped you.
Couldn't get it. You did help me. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, now I'm disappointed.
That's okay. Some of them are tricky, and I think it is a testament to like what parts of musicals stick with certain
Yeah.
people, right? And
That's
there's just
true.
like certain things that like stick in my brain. I love it.
I love it.
But I
Oh my
do use
gosh.
that one from Spelling Bee all the time. That is correct. That is
Yes.
correct. That is correct.
Correct.
Ding. Incorrect. I love that
Oh,
show. I love that show.
that holds the record for me for show done most times. I think I'm up to
Yeah.
5 times.
Dang. It's a good show for you though, because it is musically very difficult. I think
It
it's
is hard.
it's a deceiving show, right? So
Agreed.
on the outside, it's like, oh, fun. And they're in high school. So lots of, we can do it at lots of different ages and some fun characters, and it's easy to put together. And then you like sit down to learn the music and you're like, oh,
Mm-mm.
back that truck up because this
That's
is
right.
not easy.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
It is a hard
It's a
show.
difficult show. So funny though.
It
The
is
first
so
time I
funny.
saw that show, I was crying, laughing in my seat so hard. That show is so funny.
It is funny.
Great concept.
Ooh.
Love it.
Jared Gertner was in that.
Was he in the original?
I don't think he was in the original.
He's met probably the tour.
He did. Gosh, I can't remember. We should have him on. He would come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. That would be fun.
He'd be fun to have.
I would love to hear
Jared, if you're
stories
listening,
about.
come on our podcast.
Yes, please. We'd like to have a discussion about spelling bee and funny antics.
Yes.
I would love that. I feel like that show is like gotta have a million stories when you are in it. I've directed it twice,
Yeah,
but being in it on stage,
that's probably true.
super fun.
When we did it at OSHA, so you know that game that you play before a show or something, like to do cast like bonding and get
Yeah.
on the same page, where you do the counting and
Yeah.
everybody does something different. I think we got to 100 with the
Wow.
spelling bee cast.
And that's a small cast.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah, that was fun.
That's awesome. I
But
love that.
oh my gosh, all this talk about names, I love it.
I know.
Crazy
We
names.
can go on and on though.
We probably could, but
I mean, even my kids' names, like I think naming your kids. I mean, I know naming Ruby for us was more difficult. Sebastian, we knew right away. Ruby, we didn't know. And like Jerry didn't like any girl name that I brought up.
well,
And now that I
don't know
see her and she's
why.
Ruby, I'm like, you're totally Ruby. Like, how do
Right.
we not?
I know,
It's
but
funny.
you don't. It is funny. And then there's this. Then there's this thought. I'm like, do people grow into their names,
I think
or
so.
or you just like named them well? You know what I mean?
I think they grow into them, if I'm being
Yeah.
honest, because
Mhm.
I think if I were to look at both of my kids, if I had chosen another name for them, I think it would have, they just would have, as they grow and they have that name, that's who they become.
Right.
There are a few people that I've met where I'm like, that's not your name. Like, I don't anticipate that to be their name. Like when you first meet them,
Yes. Same.
but I think with your own kids in particular, 100%. And then you start getting all these nicknames for them anyway. And
Yeah,
you
I don't
know.
really have any good. That was the other thing, is I don't have any good nicknames for Amelia yet. Like,
Amelia Bedelia,
oh, we do.
have you
do
read
that.
those books to her?
Not yet, but she has been introduced.
Well, Amelia is tricky to shorten.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of like I didn't think we'd be able to have a nickname for Ruby, and I don't know. We call her Rhubarb, Arugula, Ruby Doo,
Okay, but
Rooster.
how arugula? Okay, back it up.
Yeah,
Okay,
arugula.
So just because it's Rue.
Yeah. So Rue was like the first shortened, like for Ruby, we'd call her Rue a lot when she was younger, which is super cute. Rue.
Yeah.
And then it turned into Arugula or Rooster or.
So really anything with Rue.
Yeah.
I feel like this is an endless possibility moment.
Yeah. No, I don't do it a lot. I usually just call her Ruby May because I like using her middle name. But like Maddie and my sister-in-law, her aunt call her Rhubarb. Abby calls her Rhubarb, which is really cute.
I feel like I hear Maddie call her Rue the most when I'm around.
And Rue's fun. I mean,
Rue is fun.
Yeah.
I love. I've got Gray. I do Gray a lot.
That's
Gray
cute.
Gray for Grayson.
What's his middle name?
Christopher.
Okay, yeah, that's what I just want to be sure.
Yeah, I just want to be sure.
I want to call him like GC or something.
Yeah, we do. I mean, we called him Little G for a long time.
Yeah.
And we still call him G sometimes.
Yeah.
What up, G?
Which G is a good one. I have one of Sebastian's friends' moms calls him S, and I'm like, no, like G's cool. G's cool.
Yeah. Well,
like shortened, but not
that was
S.
Kind of S. I was like, that just sounds like you're trying not to swear.
Just
S.
Sebastian. S.
It'd be like if you named your kid something like Frank, and you're like,
F.
oh, F. It's like, incorrect.
Wait, that's so funny. No, and I want to find a kid who has a name with an F, and I'm going to call him, F. Wait, that's hilarious. Molly's kid's name is Frankie. I'm gonna see if I can call him F.
See if
My
you
friend
can get
Molly.
that one going. Molly would be
Oh
another
man.
one that's fun to hang out with. I haven't.
Oh my goodness.
She's
I
so
know.
busy.
I know. She is. We'll get them all on here.
Yeah.
We're gonna get some friends on here for sure. Because we think we have a good time. Once we add another person in, it's gonna be
chaos.
a party.
We'll have chaos. Come and join us.
I want to find somebody named Chaos. That is ridiculous.
Just so that we can like have them on. Oh man. Oh my gosh, Sharna, we have way too much fun.
I know, it's true. All we did was talk about names and we had so much fun.
Yeah.
And I was trying so hard not to cough because, I mentioned at the beginning
of this.
I'm
You can
sick.
cough. It's real.
Know. And I feel better than I sound. I think when you hit that point in your sickness where you're like, I feel fine. Yeah. I just still, I'm fine. I'm fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
I'm fine. It's not fine. Fine does not have a D in it, to quote Friends.
Fine.
Yeah. Because when you're like super congested, it's like, I'm fine.
So Jerry and I always do Wednesday. Have you ever tried to say Wednesday? It's like, with D. Don't say Wednesday. Just say it with D, and you sound like you're sick. Wednesday.
Wednesday. Hello, everybody. What are you doing today? It's a Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
I'm fine. Everything's fine.
Oh my goodness. All right.
Sharna. Should we wrap it up?
We should wrap it up.
All right, let's wrap it up. Okay, y'all. Well, as per usual, we love chatting with you. Reach out to us on Instagram, subscribe on YouTube, check us out. Everything will be linked from uncommonpod.com, uncommonpod.com.
One more time, uncommonpod.com.
There you go. 3 times. It's the magic number. I learned that from our dear friend Kelly Pate, who always does a call 3 times. Like a place's call.
Oh, I love that. We're gonna have her on too, man. We keep listing out our guests, so we're gonna bring you some guests soon, guys. We're gonna bring you some guests.
And fun fact, y'all, Kelly, our friend we just mentioned, is part of the opening. So when you heard the opening stage manager calls, that was her. And she's a professional. She is a professional. She toured for years as a professional stage manager. So,
and you know what's interesting? Sorry, I know we're closing out, but I'm going to just have one last comment. I love that we just met her. We just met Kelly this year. And it was something with both of us when we met her separately.
Yeah.
That we were just like, oh, she's our people. Yeah. She's super cool. And I can't wait to have her on here to share. She's got to have so many fun stories. Yes. And I know she'll sing for us too if we ask her.
Okay. We won't tell her ahead of time.
No, she'll do it.
Sing for us.
She's awesome.
Sing for me, angel of music.
Phantom of the Opera.
That's right. Ding, ding, ding. Which is closing. Woo-woo. Is it officially closing now?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Well, like Phantom of the Opera, we're going to close out this episode. And we'll talk to you all next time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
This concludes another episode of Uncommon Sense. If you're ready for more of this fresh, hilarious, and unique perspective on the world of entertainment, education, and life, be sure to subscribe right now to catch every episode. If you gasped, laughed out loud, or even snorted, share the show with your friends and aspiring entertainers because, let's be real, sharing is caring. For more Charnopher, tune in to their witty insights by checking out the website uncommonpod.com or connecting on social media. Tune in next week and get the real insider scoop on another episode of Uncommon Sense.